At noon, first the highlights. Lagos State Transportation Commissioner leads team to inspect junction improvement works at Okwebi and Ikotu. President Tinubu approves 15% import duty on petrol, diesel. On the foreign scene, Russia strikes injure 11 people in Ukraine, and in sport, Super Eagles to open World Cup playoffs camp on November 9. Now the details. I am Dele Agadumo. Lagos State Commissioner for Transportation, Oluwaseun Oshiemi, has conducted an inspection tour of the ongoing junction improvement projects at Toyin, Adebola and Salvation Junctions along Okwebi Road. Oshiemi was accompanied by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Transportation, Olawale Musa, Director of Transport Engineering, Bolaji Bada, Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Transportation, Toyin Aremu, and other officials from the ministry. The project team noted that the infrastructure projects now stand at 45% completion stage. The initiative is aimed at ensuring seamless traffic movement from the Okwebi Link Bridge to the Okwebi axis, thereby reducing congestion and improving travel time for motorists. The inspection team also visited Ikotu Junction, where plans are underway for junction improvement works and the remodeling of adjoining inner roads to enhance traffic flow and accessibility within the area. Lagos State Education District 2 has commenced the distribution of sanitary towels to female students across secondary schools in the district. The sanitary pads were donated by the wife of the president, Oluremi Tinubu, as part of her initiative to commemorate the International Day of the Girl Child. The district also distributed learning tablets provided by the Lagos State government through the Lagos State Teaching Service Commission to enhance teaching and learning through the integration of technology in classrooms. Tutor General and Permanent Secretary, Education District 2, Omotayo Sonny, commended both the federal and state governments for their continued commitment to the growth and development of education in Nigeria. He emphasized that the learning tablets should be used judiciously to enhance students' academic performance and not as private property of any teacher. The Senate has confirmed President Bola Tinubu's nominees for the positions of service chiefs. Those confirmed are Olufemi Oluyede as Chief of Defense Staff, Waidi Shoaibu as Chief of Army Staff, Idi Abbas as Chief of Naval Staff, and Kelvin Aneke as Chief of Air Staff. The confirmation followed a 2-hour closed-door session where senators questioned the nominees on their plans to strengthen national security and reform the armed forces. Senate President Godswill Akpabio commended the president for the selection, stressing that nominees possess the experience and credibility required to reposition the military. Now to the rest of the stories. President Bola Tinubu has approved the introduction of a 15% proportionate import duty on petrol and diesel imports into Nigeria. The initiative is aimed at protecting local refineries and stabilizing the downstream market, but it is likely to raise pump prices. This is contained in a letter addressed to the Federal Inland Revenue Service and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. The letter, signed by his private secretary, Damilotu Aderemi, conveyed the president's approval following a proposal by the executive chairman of the FIRS, Zak Adedeji. Tinubu directed immediate implementation of the tariff as part of what the government described as a market-responsive import tariff framework. Nigeria Customs Service, NCS, has expressed its readiness to cement collaboration with the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, in combating human trafficking and the illegal trade in endangered species. Comptroller General of Customs Dele Agadumo made this commitment when a delegation from NAPTIP paid him a courtesy visit at the Customs House in Maitama, Abuja. Agadumo noted that Nigeria's security challenges required joint action, stressing that the service does not view crimes solely through the lens of smuggling, but through broader national security implementations. On her part, the Director General of NAPTIP, Binta Adamu, said the agency is eager to strengthen operational partnerships, particularly in areas such as intelligence exchange, policy development, and cross-border enforcement. She noted that human trafficking continues to evolve, requiring close coordination among agencies operating at Nigeria's multiple entry and exit points. Now to foreign news. Russian drone and missile strikes have wounded 11 people in Ukraine overnight and left much of the country without power. In southeastern Zaporizhia, the regional military administration chief said Russia had pounded the city with strikes, which hit residential buildings. Ukraine's energy minister Svetlana Grinchuk said Russia is once again launching a massive missile and drone strike on Ukraine's energy infrastructure. Meanwhile, Ukraine has increasingly responded with its own strikes targeting Russian oil refineries and other energy infrastructure. In our sport, the Nigeria Football Federation has confirmed that the Super Eagles camp for the 2026 World Cup Africa playoffs in Morocco will open on Sunday, November 9 in Rabat. NFF President Ibrahim Gusau is confident that the Super Eagles will be battle ready. Nigeria, Gabon, Democratic Republic of Congo and Cameroon will vie for the sole ticket in Africa on November 13 and 16, and the winner will qualify for the Intercontinental Playoffs in Mexico by March 2026. The Super Eagles have been drawn against Gabon in the playoffs, while the winner of the tie will face the winner of the other playoff semi-final between Cameroon and Democratic Republic of Congo in the final. And that is our news at noon. Just before we go, do not drive against traffic. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch news and programs live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. Visit our website on www.trafficradio961.ng. You can also listen to Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM live on My Lagos app for timely updates. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration completed and inaugurated the 13.68 kilometers Oshodi Abule Egba BRT corridor? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State Commissioner for Transportation Oluwaseun Oshiyemi has conducted an inspection tour of the ongoing conjunction in improvement projects at Toyin, Adebola and Salvation Junctions along Okwebi Road. President Bola Tinubu has approved the introduction of a 15% proportionate import duty on petrol and diesel imports into Nigeria. Also told you that Russian drone and missile strikes have wounded 11 people in Ukraine overnight and left much of the country without power. And in sport, the Nigeria Football Federation has confirmed that the Super Eagles camp for the 2026 World Cup Africa playoffs in Morocco will open on Sunday, November 9 in Rabat. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That is the news broadcast compiled by Adewale Oluworoku. I am Dele Agadumo. Good afternoon. Thank you for listening.